Hi guys, Shane here, Flight Simmer. Welcome to another episode of Test Drive. If you haven't seen these before, this is where we take a scenery or an add-on or an aircraft and we'll take it for a test drive and a spin around the block. Today we've got something a little bit special. We are checking out Just Flight's Arrow 3 yet again. So you've seen this in a 3-part series that I've done for FSElite and also on my channel, but this is something different. We're actually checking it out on the first ever third-party aircraft that's been released on FSW. So we are in the FSW sim, and does she look pretty good? So on this episode of Test Drive, I'm not going to go into all the details like I normally do for all the aircrafts and add-ons. I'll leave a link into the other episodes I've done on this aircraft, but I merely wanted to take a look at the differences as it is the first third-party aircraft for the sim, and using their technology such as the physical based rendering and all that sort of stuff that FSW does, and a little bits of difference. So I do apologize because there's no chase plane and things like that. I'm using their default camera and having a few issues, but hey, it's alpha. But what I will say is I'm very impressed in the way that the aircraft looks, and on first glances it's possibly a better than what it looks like in prepared version 4. But I'll leave my thoughts till the end. So this gives you a bit of a glimpse of the outside. We're going to jump into the cockpit, check out the menu, and get it started up. So as we close the door, the first thing I'm going to be checking out in the Just Flight Arrow 3 is that it is a living, breathing machine. Well, it is in Prepared and FSX, so just want to see if the menu systems still operate and work the same. The lever that I'm trying to push now, which let's do it with the mouse button there, that gives you the option, yep, caps just flipped up there. You can check your oil, refill it, check your fuel and all that sort of stuff. It has the menu tab over here, which I can do cold and dark, and also with the tick you can do the Just Flight checklist, which I'm a big fan of actually. So they've got that in the sim as well, which is awesome. The flight computer, so you can check out all your fuel burn and things like that, and also you can reposition the aircraft. Now the other interesting thing is the cold and dark startup procedures that is for FSW. So this aircraft is compatible. So we're going to start up by using this. So you actually won't find this cold and dark quick sort of procedure guide in a P3D or FSX. It's only an FSW option. So gone of the days of making YouTube videos on startup sequences for new products, but it's pretty cool. So we'll see how we go. There is an advanced mode. We're using the basic one there. Personally with this aircraft, because it is a study level sim, I'll pretty much be using the Just Flight checklist, but we're going through, so we're going to turn the fuel pumps on now, but this will get any pilot jumping in the aircraft get started up quick and easy. So as you can see, very easy for newcomers to start up an aircraft, but doesn't she sound absolutely fantastic? So I'm not sure if it's just because I got my headphones turned up loud, but it just sounds a little bit more crisper in FSW. Shouldn't be any reason why, but now we've got started up, we're going to get the flight planner in and we'll get going. So the aircraft is configured for taxi, nice and easy, and just works exactly the same way it would do in FSX or Prepared. If anybody's wondering where we are taking off in Southern California, Ocean County. Thought being fairly new to FSW that we'd actually do this first test drive in an area that I'm familiar with, but taxiing is very smooth and very much the same. Once we get up on this taxiway, once we make this turn, there is a menu system I forgot to show you. If you haven't seen the Just Flight aircraft before, we'll taxi all the way up here, but and I will try to show you guys without going off the taxiway. But basically this is the above menu, so you can actually do your panel state and go through the other different parts of the menu there. So just exactly the same that it is in prepared or FSX, so very similar. Now we're approaching the end of the taxiway. I will say this, that I have everything set up. The only issue I have with FSW when it comes to controls is my SciTech trim wheel. Can't get that set up, so it's going to be interesting because I don't actually have the trim the way I like it. That's nothing to do with the aircraft, that's just the way the sim. I need to do some work on that, but we'll get everything configured for takeoff and we'll see how she flies. All configured for takeoff. We're just going to roll out to runway 29. What have we got here? I didn't see him pull out in front of me. How does that happen? So a little bit of an glitch there with the traffic for FSW, but I believe it's another Piper you can see taking off without any strobes or lights. But hey, we'll get him. We'll give him a little bit of space and that we get going. But from this point here, everything's very similar to how it works in prepared and FSW. Sorry, and FSX I should say. Obviously the startup for a novice pilot using the cold dark procedure for FSW is different and easier to jump in sim. But I'll be quiet now as we take off and I'll come back to you shortly. Alrighty, we'll just begin our right hand turn. Apologies, just skimming the trees there. A bit different when I can't trim the aircraft the way I want. The flap sound is probably a little bit lower than what it is in prepared, so it was a bit hard to tell if the flaps actually went up via the sound anyway. But finish our right hand turn. We're just going to fly between these clouds here, and aim is to get up to about 7,000 feet. So we're going to get the autopilot set on heading. Just got to remember how to do it because it's been about a month since I've flown this aircraft, but should be able to work quite easy. So I'm going to leave you there for a little bit. We'll take some views of the aircraft as we're departing, and I'll come back to you as we're getting up to our top of descent. Welcome back to the the cockpit. We're pretty much on cruise, just having a bit of a gander out of the left hand side window. Had a couple of wild moments with True Sky, but I thought I'd quickly, before we have a look around the cockpit and give you my thoughts, is just show you how I'm using the GPS, because obviously the Arrow has the Garmin 100 and your things like the Flight 1 GTN, all that sort of compatibility is not in FSW, but it does have a default 2D sort of GPS, so we'll just duck up into the menu and we'll have a quick look. So obviously when you do, you can configure your flight plan before your flight, so you can see where I'm going here, pretty much up the coast and ducking around. You can zoom in and zoom out. But we'll take a look around the cockpit. Look, my impressions, I'm not going to go through in detail. Like I said, I'll leave some links in the description below. And you can check out the full in-depth video I've done for FSElite and also the Oz Flight Simmer channel. But everything, and I'm actually recording and viewing this on a 4K screen, but everything just looks so much crisper. The lighting is better. The aircraft inside and out, like I said, I'd leave my thoughts to the end, but as for the look of the aircraft in FSW, wow, it just looks so much better. Obviously having a bit of a glitch there, but it does look superb, especially, you know, things like with the lighting on the yoke there looks absolutely incredible. But we'll scan around the overhead, take a bit of a quick look in the back seat, see if I can get these controls working correctly. But I'll leave it up to you. You can go and actually check out the other videos and do a comparison yourself, and they were filmed on the same 4K screen, but I'm quite impressed with the way the aircraft looks in the sim, which is very important. Look out the window. Missing a camera system though, so I'll leave it up for you guys to make your own judgment, but I think it looks pretty good. So we'll continue on. I'll come back to you as we're descending into our destination. Just thinking of the time of the video, don't want to take up too much of your time today, so we'll talk to you soon. So we've made it to our destination, which is Monterey in Southern California. If you want a full in-depth review or first impressions of the aircraft, please check out the links below for the FSElite videos and also one on the Oz Flight Simmer channel. This video and test drive is merely to see the difference of the aircraft in the different sim. But engine management, navigation, autopilot, flight dynamics, all are very, very similar. Obviously a little bit different being a different sim, but the aircraft has performed well and it has been a very immersive. So I'm going to leave you there for a second. I'll come back after touchdown so you can enjoy the approach in. It wasn't the smoothest of landings, but that comes down a lot to my piloting skills. Couldn't get the trim wheel the way I wanted to, but we'll work on that. We'll get the side set gear working. So, as all these test drive videos, I'll give you my final impressions of the video, not the video, the product. And my expectations is very, very, very high, and the reason for that is I've used this aircraft in P3D and done a lot of hours in it, so transferring across to FSW, my expectation was going to be high, and it did actually meet all those expectations. The flight dynamics, the navigation, the engine management, all that sort of stuff worked the way that it should do. Probably the main difference for me would be that it just looks a lot better. So just the lighting and things like that, it looks better than it does in the P3D. So well done to Just Flight for getting in the sim, and well done for FSW for making gains with your sim. Keep going for that. But I would recommend, if you're actually picking up FSW, if you're interested, please pick this up as well, because you'll find that being a third-party aircraft, it will just give you that immersion feeling, be a little bit more, and I highly recommend it. So just going off the runway here as I put the window down, so I'll be using the Arrow 3 as a bit of a test bed through my journey with FSW. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Shane, I'm Flight Simmer. Please hit the subscribe button if you like this sort of stuff, and I do weekly videos. Hit the thumbs up and smash it if you like the video, and please leave some comments. You can also check out my Facebook page. I'll leave it in the link below, and you can see what I'm up to during the week. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.